For more than 2,000 years, one name has fascinated historians, explorers, and dreamers alike: Atlantis. A city said to possess incredible wealth, advanced knowledge, and unimaginable beauty. A civilization so powerful that many believed nothing could ever destroy it. And yet, according to ancient stories, Atlantis vanished beneath the sea in a single day and night. But was Atlantis real? Or was it simply a story meant to teach humanity a lesson? The first person to describe Atlantis was the Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 BC, Plato wrote about a great island civilization located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, known today as the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, Atlantis was larger than Libya and Asia Minor combined. Its people were wealthy and highly organized. Their cities were decorated with magnificent temples and enormous walls. Ships traveled constantly between ports carrying gold, silver, spices, and exotic goods. At the center of Atlantis stood a great temple dedicated to Poseidon, the god of the sea. The temple was surrounded by rings of land and water, connected by bridges and canals. Plato described Atlantis as one of the greatest civilizations the world had ever known. The Atlanteans possessed powerful armies and mighty fleets. Their influence spread across many lands. For generations, they lived in prosperity and harmony. But according to Plato, success slowly changed them. Greed replaced wisdom. Power replaced humility. The rulers of Atlantis became obsessed with conquest and domination. They desired more land, more wealth, more glory. And as their ambitions grew, they forgot the virtues that had once made them great. The gods watched. And eventually, divine punishment arrived. Plato wrote that terrible earthquakes shook the land. Massive floods swept across the island. And in a single day and night of misfortune, Atlantis disappeared beneath the ocean forever. For centuries, many people believed Atlantis was nothing more than a myth, a warning against arrogance and greed. But others believed there might be some truth hidden within the story. Explorers searched for the lost city beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Some claimed Atlantis was located near the Azores. Others believed it was connected to the island of Santorini. Some theories even suggested Antarctica or the Caribbean. Yet, despite countless expeditions and endless speculation, no one has ever proven where Atlantis truly existed. And perhaps that mystery is what makes Atlantis so fascinating. Because deep within every human heart lives a question. What if a great civilization really vanished beneath the sea? What if traces of its people still rest in darkness, waiting to be discovered? And what if, on the final night before the waves swallowed everything, ordinary men and women looked up at the stars, completely unaware that their world was about to disappear forever? According to an old tale passed down through generations, one merchant living in Atlantis experienced exactly that. And his story began on a peaceful evening that seemed no different from any other. His name was Theron, and like his father and grandfather before him, he was a merchant of Atlantis. For most of his life, the sea had been kind to him. Ships came and went through the great harbor, carrying bronze, ivory, spices, wine, and bright fabrics from distant shores. His family was not rich, but they lived well enough, and every morning Theron opened his little shop near the canal with quiet pride. On the evening that would later become the last night of Atlantis, the city looked almost peaceful. Lamps glowed along the bridges. Children ran between the marble streets. Fishermen pulled their boats toward the docks, and music drifted from open courtyards. Theron closed his shop, placed the last coins into a wooden box, and walked home believing tomorrow would be no different. But the signs had been there. For weeks, small tremors had moved beneath the city. Cups shook on tables. Doors opened by themselves. Birds flew inland before sunrise, and horses refused to drink from the fountains. The priests of Poseidon spoke in low voices, but the rulers told the people not to fear. Atlantis was strong, they said. Atlantis was blessed, they said. Atlantis could not fall. That night, Theron sat beside his wife, Myra, and their young son, Dorian. They were eating bread, olives, and fish when the floor suddenly moved. At first, it felt like the tremors before it, but then the walls groaned. A lamp fell and shattered. Outside, someone screamed. Theron rushed to the door. The street had split open. Across the canal, a statue of Poseidon cracked down the middle and collapsed into white dust. People poured from their homes in confusion. Some prayed. Some shouted for their children. Others stared toward the harbor, where the water was pulling backward, away from the shore. Then came the sound. It was not thunder. It was deeper than thunder. It rose from beneath the earth, like the voice of something ancient waking in anger. The bridges broke, temples shook, golden rooftops fell into the streets. The proud city that had believed itself eternal began to tear apart. Theron grabbed Dorian and reached for Myra's hand. Together they ran with the crowd toward higher ground. But every road was breaking. Every gate was blocked. Behind them, the sea returned. A wall of water rose above the harbor, taller than any tower in Atlantis. Ships were lifted into the air like leaves. Stone houses vanished beneath the wave. The canals overflowed, and the streets became rivers. Theron held his family close as the water rushed through the city. Around him, people called out names that were swallowed by the storm. The great temple lights flickered one by one, then disappeared. For a final moment, Theron looked back. He saw Atlantis shining beneath the moon, broken but still beautiful. Then the sea covered the city. By dawn, nothing remained above the water. Centuries passed. Empires rose and vanished. Maps changed. Languages died. Yet the story of Atlantis survived. Some believe Plato created it as a warning about pride and greed. Others believe a real city once stood somewhere beyond the known world, destroyed by disaster and hidden by the sea. No one knows the truth. But that is why Atlantis still haunts us. Because somewhere in the deep, beneath darkness, sand, and silence, we imagine its temples still standing, and we wonder if the lost city is waiting to be found.